Yes.
And then it's the...
See the pictures have a little... Yeah, I would very...
I absolutely would recommend this class. It's a fun environment. It's not all independent work, but you do have a lot of time where it's just you, yourself, working on your spreadsheet. But there are opportunities for you to work with other people in your class. You can work on different things with them. And it's honestly just a really fun class. She's an amazing teacher. She really helps you if you have any questions. She'll make sure to make it to you by the end of the class because a lot of people will have questions in the class. She explains it in any way that you need it to be explained.
Well, so if this doesn't work out for you, you can always redo it. But see how...
A lot more writing skills, to be honest. I really have. How to obviously use the application that we use. A variety of students, honestly. It's not like a specific type of student that would take it. Honestly, anyone can take it and it would be fun.
Right? Those comments are there for you to be one or
I think the creative writing course really allows you to elaborate on your creativity and your creative side, and it helps you in the future. I feel like as my skills in creative writing develop, I'll be able to more easily tell stories and communicate through storytelling and through my writing, as opposed to just in the real world. I'll be able to tell people things more clearly and with more detail, and that'll help out with essays in the future or just in general speaking.
So we come in every day and we do a free write, and she'll usually explain the free write before we do it, give us a prompt, and then we have about 25 minutes to write it, and then we move on to the main prompt of the day, which is usually a bigger project that'll last from anywhere from 2 to 3 days, I'd say.
It's a really laid-back course. You can listen to music, you can eat food, and if you have friends in the course with you, you can talk and elaborate together. And so you are doing some writing, but it's very loose writing, so you're not held down by any restrictive barriers.
I'd say take it. It's very easy. If you're stressed out with all your other classes, it's not too stressful. She makes sure it's not stressful.
At General McLean, we're very excited to begin offering a new course in the English department. This course is an introduction to graphic novels. A central focus will be how images and text combine to tell a story and make meaning. After beginning with short-form strip comics, study will shift to action-adventure and superhero comics. Following that, students will read and learn about alternative and underground comics, that's comics with an X, which have evolved into the modern long-form graphic novels of today. Students will learn the terms associated with the genre. Students will consider graphic novels as literature, analyze formal structure as it relates to content, and trace the development of various themes. Central questions will include the following. What works of literary culture offer significant insight to a broader sense of culture? What is considered literary and what is not? Most importantly, what makes a graphic novel canon? While the course has no final, assessments will be through Socratic seminars, student-led presentations, and shorter forms of writing, such as reviews of the strengths and weaknesses of a particular work. While a small bit of drawing and layout may be expected, this course focuses on reading and analyzing pre-existing texts, not designing one. Some possible graphic novel texts include The March, Mouse, A Survivor's Tale, Persepolis, The Story of a Childhood, American-Born Chinese, Lindbergh Child, Special Exits, Stitches, and Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. The course is a quarter in length, and it is open to 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. There are no prerequisites. I hope you consider the course.
Hi. I often see former public speaking students after they graduate, and you know what they tell me? They tell me they have to give a ton of presentations in their college classes, and that they are so glad they took public speaking in high school because they are much more confident speakers than their peers who have not. Well, if you've taken public speaking already and are ready for a new challenge, this elective is right up your alley. In advanced public speaking, you will have an opportunity to hone your speaking skills, create a podcast, learn to master the TED Talk, and create a vlog. If you Google what skills do employers look for in an applicant, consistently the number 1 and 2 answers on the list is effective communication. So even if you're not college bound, public speaking is an essential skill to possess, whether it aids in getting you a job, telling a good story, wooing a romantic interest, or just makes you more likable, darn it. Remember, if you've had public speaking already and would like a chance to learn some new skills, sign up. And just think, you'll get to have me as a teacher once again. See you next year.
Hi, my name is Brady Gustafson, and I am in literature and film. What we really do in the class is we analyze film techniques and films themselves. We've done a Hitchcock study, watched 3 Alfred Hitchcock movies. Also, we do constructive responses for some of the movies as well. Like, What's Eating Gilbert Grape? We did a constructive response for that. We just finished watching Little Miss Sunshine as well.
That's like Harry Potter.
I really enjoy the course. I really like all the different films we get to view and different readings, and I like to see how the readings and like the stuff we read are adapted in the film to each differently.
I tell the student is definitely take it. It's going to be worth your time. You're going to find out about how to make a film, how to put it all together, and plot, subplot. You're going to learn everything about movie techniques.
It's really fun, and if you enjoy movies or anything in the film aspects, you should take it just because it's an awesome way to view different films, and I haven't seen like any of the films we watch, so it's an awesome time.
Hello, I'm Mr. Jenkins, and welcome to Acting and Set Design. If you take the class, we're going to be in the auditorium every day, and this is what you're going to see all the time. You'll be on stage performing in front of your classmates who will evaluate how well you can act. In the class, we talk about 4 different definitions of acting. The most important one is that acting is the realistic portrayal of emotions. So every day you come in here, you have to be angry, be happy, be in love, be excited, be sad. Hopefully not all at the same time, but you have to show emotions realistically. We talk about a quote from Tom Hanks who says how stressful acting is, because every night before he goes to work, he panics, wondering whether you can actually show emotion realistically. But besides the acting part, we also work on lights. And up there, you're going to see all the lights you're going to work on. We'll be up in the catwalk, up in the light booth, setting lights and learning how to operate the light board. So hopefully you're willing to try something a little different, try to act, and play with some lights.
Another elective course that I teach, and that is psychology. Psychology is one of the social studies electives, but what I like to say about psychology is that it's a lot different than most of the other social studies electives. You're not going to learn about wars, you're not going to learn about presidents, you're not going to learn about history. Instead, you're going to learn about things like learning and conditioning. You're going to learn about how your memory works. You're going to learn about your personality. We spent some time talking about mental illness and mental health. And because of that, I always say to my students that psychology is one of the cool things I think that the students find out after they take it is that, well, number one, almost everything that we do in this elective is like brand new information, things that you've never learned before. And that's kind of fun. It's all new stuff. It kind of makes it sometimes a little bit difficult, but learning all these new concepts is pretty neat for the students. And the other thing that I like to say is that just by the nature of the content, psychology is very personal. So every student that sits in that class and goes through learning about memories or learning about how we learn, you can personalize all of it because it's all about how your memory works or about how your personality is developed. And so I think in that sense, the students really enjoy it as well. So I hope to see you in there.
One part of the building, there's this famous mural, and it's massive, it's giant. I mean, I don't even know how big.
But basically, Mr. Weibel is a really fun teacher, and he starts from the beginning 13 colonies and tells us about how you expand westward and how America came to be. And the way he teaches is just so fun, and he tells stories with everything he does.
2/5 of our country. It was like uncomfortable, I have to admit. It's me and 25 American students in Mexico City, and this guy's like, yeah, and your country took 2/5.
When Mr. Weibel teaches it, it's a lot of history teachers, you'll see the Goins, are able to, rather than just giving you the dates and what happened, actually explain it in the story of life. Seems like a lot of fun. Mr. Weibel's a great teacher, and overall, I feel like it's pretty easy to learn the content.
I think it's really important because it's in everything. As he says, like, there's a bunch of jokes, there's a bunch of movies and stuff that has it in it, and if you don't know it, you won't understand it. And if you don't learn from the past, then history might repeat.
Good afternoon. I'm Mr. Hager. I teach some of the required classes like U.S. History 2 and Civics and Economics. But I also offer 2 electives that you're able to take. The first one is sociology. Sociology is a study of human behavior as it pertains to being a part of a group. And so we study things like culture, race and ethnicity, your role in the family, among other things. We'll do a lot of discussion-based classes and projects. Posters, video projects, and movies are included. You should take this class because it's a really good class. It also couples well with psychology from Mr. Weibel. Between those 2 classes, you have a full array of education based on what kind of behavior and why you are like you are.
If you are trying to find out more about, in general, what happens, not specifically one thing, like in general what happened in World War II, so the Pacific Theater, the European front.
Basically just about World War II. Talk about how it was the greatest generation and how we persevered through the war, how Europe was able to persevere.
This is more or less what people are involved in what they did. Due dates helps out a lot and teaches students that time management is very important.
I think history is important so we can reflect on the past and make better decisions in the future.
So Child Development 1 is about learning how kids the ages 1 to 3 develop and how they mature and how they act.
We do a book activity where you have to read a child's book in front of the whole class and then do an activity that would go along with the book. I think it's a good class if you're planning on either working with kids or having your own kids in the future. Fun Foods is designed for beginners starting to cook for the first time, and you use pre-prepared box mixes and foods. And this class would become before Culinary Arts 1 and 2. Culinary Arts 1 is a class where it introduces you to reading recipes and properly measuring flour and sugar and foods out. And the class, all of the cooking classes have a lab fee, and then this class continues into Culinary Arts 2, which is just more advanced cooking skills. Lancer Pantry is around the time of Thanksgiving and Christmas, and you bake a lot of pastries and cookies. And the main project in that class is you do a cookie competition, and you have to design a cookie, and then you make a lot of them, and then they're judged, and that's the main project in that class.
Okay, so the relationships class is a new class that GM offers to juniors and seniors. This class mainly focuses on how to improve relationships with your peers and your family members and new people that you're meeting.
I am Noah Patterson and I work at the cafe. Well, normally we're open till 7:35 to 8, but we are also open just a little bit afterward. I would recommend taking the class just because you get to hang around with friends first period and it's kind of fun. I think the most bought item would either be the iced coffee or the French vanilla cappuccino. We have expediters, which basically just say what the order is. We have people who make the drinks and people who prepare the food. We also have toasters that make bagels and English muffins and stuff like that. I was the expediter for ordering out, which people would give me the prepared food and I would read the name and have to scream the name because, you know, it's pretty loud in the library.
I'm Alexis Bartosik. Yeah, it's fun. You just take fun foods class. French vanilla cappuccinos for sure.
Graphic Design Photoshop. This course is taught by Mrs. Hodis. In this course, you are going to learn the program Adobe Photoshop. Now, at first, it sounds like a Photoshop would be just for photographers, but this program is used in the medical field, engineering and computer science, and of course, it's used in the advertising world and photography. Throughout this course, you're going to learn to manipulate photos in Adobe Photoshop, and you'll become proficient in using the program. You'll even be able to explore your more creative side where you're drawing your own creations. Throughout the course, you have to think creatively. If you've ever been very artistic and you've liked to paint or draw, this is a way to turn those paintings or drawing into digital creations where you actually paint right here on the computer. It's a great course to take before you take photography class. So sign up for Graphic Design Photoshop. Graphic Design Illustration is a course that is taught by Mrs. Hodis. This course, you will be learning to use the program Adobe Illustrator. If you are someone who has never really used a computer, but you love to draw by hand, we do use Wacom tablets, and you can draw on a Wacom tablet and turn your hand drawings into beautiful digital art. We also explore making logos. We design for Doodle for Google. There are actually jobs that are called a doodler in the real world, and you could work for Google. We study how Pixar designs their characters and how Disney designs their characters, and we bring them to life with our own spin on things. So if you're interested in art and you wanted to bring your illustrations to life on the computer, sign up for Graphic Design Illustration. Graphic Design 2 is a course that first you're going to need to take Graphic Design Photoshop and Graphic Design Illustration as your prerequisites. That will give you a foundation for the more professional work that we're going to explore. In this course, you are more free to explore your own talents, and we even try to find real-world applications to apply your designs. Throughout this course, you will take what you have learned in Graphic Design Photoshop and in Graphic Design Illustration, and you are going to put them together and see how the two programs work seamlessly. As you work in this course, there may even be times that you take on jobs where you design logos or posters or elements for people that need your design services. So if you have taken Graphic Design Photoshop and Graphic Design Illustration, it's now time to sign up for Graphic Design 2. Photography. Photography is for students in grades 10, 11, and 12. In this class, you're going to need a DSLR camera, a point-and-shoot camera, or a point-and-shoot hybrid. Any of those cameras will work. The only thing you're not permitted to use would be a digital device such as your iPad or your phone. Within this course, every week you will have a photo shoot to explore new things and new features on your camera, and you're going to learn to see the world photographically. Students in this course find success in their photography almost immediately. So it's really fun to explore the rest of the course because right away you get excited about your successful photos in the class. Being able to manipulate your camera to make it take the photo that you've always had in your head. Once we take the photos, you bring your photos into Adobe Lightroom where you digitally process them. That becomes our digital darkroom. Later, as we get more advanced, we take it into Adobe Photoshop where you can do a little bit more artistic things with your photography. And in the end, you produce beautiful photographs. So if you've ever wanted to explore more about photography, please take the course Photography at General McLean. After taking Photography 1 class, you can take Photography 2. This is also taught by Mrs. Hodis. In this class, you will need a DSLR camera. That is a camera that has the lens that can detach. Photography 2 is a continuation of Photography 1, except in this class, you will learn to use your camera manually. So you'll be able to set the shutter speed, aperture, ISO speed, and we make it very easy because we have fun doing it. We do a lot of in-lab experiments. You do some light painting. We do some action photography where we're photographing sports. We're going to do astrophotography where we're going outside and photographing some stars. I like to meet up with every one of you and photograph something that is in high speed so you and I are working together one-on-one. And again, in the lab, we just have a lot of fun. When we're not working in the lab, we're working in the digital darkroom where we're using Adobe Lightroom and Adobe Photoshop to manipulate our photographs to being just the artwork that we need them to be. So if you have taken Photography 1 and you're ready to explore some more, please sign up for Photography 2. I look forward to seeing you.
He makes my day every single time that I come in here, and every time that I'm painting or doing any variation of art, whether that be like ceramics or drawing or anything, I'm just happy. This being here makes me happy.
I feel like art is important because it's one of the most vital ways that we communicate with people. You can say so much with a picture, and you can say so much about yourself and how you view the world, and you can find people that agree with you and disagree with you, and you can have an honest conversation about that. Art it allows you to fully express yourself, and I feel like it's a great break.
Creativity is me going home at the end of the day and laying in my bed comfortably knowing that I'm able to convey my ideas and put my ideas down on paper and not have a problem with it, not self-doubt. The curriculum is really fun. All the projects that we do, really, Mrs. Thompson personalizes all of them so it pertains to our interests. I feel like art is important to public education because it allows every student to really have the opportunity to grow into themselves and grow into their certain art style.
We build a wall section with drywall, and we also learn how to fix and repair a toilet as well as a sink, and we also learn the basics of electricity, how to wire outlets if you wanted to do something in your house. If something goes wrong in my house, like my toilet is flooding or whatever, I have the basics to fix it.
good course to take. I would definitely recommend it.
I'm really happy that I took this course because it provided me with life lessons that I can take with me.
Teaching metals since I started here since 2014, so this is my 4th year teaching metals. Oh, it's probably one of my favorite classes. Metal fabrication is an awesome class. It's a great class for kids to take. They get a lot of hands-on fabrication experience. About my job is I don't feel like I'm working. I come in each day, I'm not dreading coming in. I'm usually one of the first teachers here, usually one of the last teachers to leave. And I just build stuff all day, help kids build stuff all day. It's really just a great experience all around. I'll teach metals for another 31 years, and then I would like to think that I'll be out of here by then. I think it's very important skill for kids to have. There's a big push right now in the industry world, and I believe giving kids the opportunity to see that hands-on experience with working with metal fabrication and machining, I hope to motivate some of them to look into that industry and into those industries and hopefully find themselves a nice paying job in that field.
I took metals because when I was in middle school, I wanted to work in the metal shop, but we only had the wood shop to work in, and I've always wanted to learn how to weld and stuff. I would recommend it because it's a fun shop class to take, and if you don't really know how to work, if you don't really like working in shop, you don't want to take it.
Says I really enjoyed this class. It allowed me to be creative and innovative. Not only does it give you a sense of accomplishment, it gives you you can look back on it and just see a project that you made in your house or something made by you. Most people don't take tech ed classes because they think it's going to be too hard or something that they're not into, but I feel like everybody should try it because you never know what you can make, and once you have your project, you can if you make something that's useful, like a bench or a table or anything, you can have it, and you can have it in your house for years and use it, and it's cool because you made it, and it's just people should give it a try.
I teach intro to metals, intro to wood, metal productions and wood productions. Why should you take them? Well, they're hands-on classes, no homework. You get to make things.
This class teaches us how to use machines that are computer program aided so that you can make your own projects from online. You could take a picture off online and turn it into some physical project. It's precise.
There's no homework, so that's nice. And I don't know, it gives you room to be creative, so you can just do whatever, be as creative as you want.
In this class we utilize CorelDRAW, we use SolidWorks, which is another 3D drawing program, and we use the laser engraver, the CNC router, and we have Vex robots that we can put together and program.
Because it's, like I said, a great opportunity if you're ever interested in electronics or anything like that. there is no reason to not pursue your interest in anything regarding any interest you have.
You can build a bunch of stuff. I built a wine bottle holder for my parents, and it was their Christmas gift, and they really liked that. I drew it up on SolidWorks, and then I used a CNC machine to do the holder parts.
So what I did is I found a picture online and I put it into CorelDRAW. You can take pieces of that picture and take them out. You can separate the pieces. And then what I did is make sure there's no lines, nothing else that the CNC router will cut accidentally. So that's all one Vex image per se, which is just a black image. And so I converted it into that and then put it on a flash drive and put it in the CNC router. Put it into NRoute, which will computer program your piece, your drawing, and it cut it out.
I don't know, it involves a lot of step planning. It's sort of like if you ever played with Legos when you were a kid, it's like adult Legos.
So the architecture class is a really cool class where students engage with the principles of design, drawing to scale, understanding building code, work triangles, materials, the way structures are built, and then using these computers to draw up floor plans and make three-dimensional houses.
It's pretty interesting because it's not just like building a house on the computer. You're also learning like the codes of what you need to meet. You're learning what looks wrong. Like you're learning about like a work triangle, how the sink and the stove and the fridge all need to like connect to each other. And you're also learning how to like meet a client's needs. Like you're sitting down with a client, talking to him, finding out what he needs, and trying to meet those needs. Even if you're not going to be an architect, it's still helpful because most jobs that you like work for somebody, you need to meet their needs because they're your client, and this helps with that. And because if you ever have a house that you need to paint or anything, or like get furniture for that house, you need to make sure it looks nice with the rest of the room.
Some of the skills that students will take with them after this course will certainly be principles of design, aesthetics, being able to draw a blueprint of just about anything.
I tell them that they should go for it. It's a good experience to take.
The teacher's fun. The class is very like laid back and it's nice.
It's a fun class. You learn a lot about computers and how to like do different animations.
And all of a sudden, one of the players hits his first ball and the baseball bat breaks. The bat and the baseball look at each other in fear. The crowd goes wild, ah! But the baseball's going too far. It hits out of the city and into a window. With the crowd still cheering, The bat is looking all around for baseball.
I didn't even know how to use Photoshop or anything else like that, but the moment that you started like actually like continuing and like teaching us more advanced technologies, it actually helped a lot because I still retained like the easy stuff, but like as the harder stuff got forward, I'm like, this is actually really easy. So
this is a very good learning experience, and I think that like a lot of people need to have computer animation class.
I already wanted to become a computer like animator. It's either that or like a video game designer, so this class helps me in my future. And now that I know how to like use Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, After Effects, it makes it so much easier for like what direction I'm going into.
Oh, I think it's like really helpful to, you know, like teach kids how to really, first of all, use the computer, and then like do certain things with the computer, like animate, kind of like bring like your ideas to life.
In the morning, it's just a great way to start off my day. It's not too hard, but it is challenging in a way. It's just a nice added little bonus. That's a fun class to have, and yeah, I would definitely recommend it to some of my friends.
Take the course. I mean, you might like it, you might not, but either way, you'll have a fun time, no matter how you look at it, because Sty's a pretty cool teacher, and you probably got more friends than you think in the class.
Yeah.
I just like saying my name. Hi, my name's Alexis.
What did you do in media arts class?
In media arts class, I film videos, edit, yeah.
What was your favorite part of media arts class?
So far, editing, going out, finding people, talking to people.
Would you recommend this class to other people?
Yeah, I would recommend it. Super fun, editing is fun.
Well, in this class, you make the video announcements and you make little short projects along the way. Oh, I love it. I love having the skills to learn how to edit videos, how to film. I feel like it's a really nice and necessary skill to have.
What was your favorite part of the class?
My favorite part of the class, I'd have to say, was making the PSA, because that was a lot of fun to film. I definitely would. I would recommend it to those who want to get a feel for filming and editing, and maybe those who want to start their own YouTube channel.
Like what I want to get out of this class is I want to see how to design some of these parts and how to use some of these computers, and just to get a little snippet of that.
Go right ahead. I mean, it's a fun class, you learn a lot, and it's very helpful for future. It's very helpful for your future, and pretty much whatever type of future you're taking. Like.
My favorite aspects of engineering design were all the hands-on things. I'm not a huge person into technology, so it's really cool when you work with other people and collaborate to make an amazing project and then test that project out to see how well you did, because you know, it's a competition. You got to beat the other person first before you can do it. So that's really fun, and you come up with really creative ideas, which also is pretty amazing. So.
Engineering 2 is for the students who enjoyed hands-on challenges in Engineering 1 and love working out three-dimensional parts in industry standard program SolidWorks.
Engineering Design 2 really helps prepare you for not necessarily, you might not, if you want to do engineering, you might not necessarily be drafting and all that, but the problem solving abilities that you'll learn and cultivate in this class really help, I think, prepare you for engineering and other, it doesn't have to be engineering, it could be like medicine or I don't know, accounting or just, you know, any job that needs problem solving skills.
SolidWorks projects are a bit more challenging where you really get the opportunity to learn the program on a deeper level, printing out working engineering drawings and creating assemblies. There's also the opportunity to be creative and get after design challenges that prompt students to invent and print static and working parts to solve problems. If you're interested in engineering career and appreciate problem solving, this class may be for you.
You further what you've learned in Engineering Design 1, you work on projects, you work with SolidWorks and other drafting programs. It's basically Engineering Design 1, but more fun, pretty much. You get more freedom to do what you want.
It's a fun class, great teacher. Just be prepared to work.
InventionLand is a really unique course that takes all the facets of being able to invent things and structures it into a 9-step process that students engage with. Students go through this 9-step process and come out with a working prototype that they're able to present to a group of people.
A really good class to take. You learn some good skills on SolidWorks and in creating commercials. And you get to invent something that might be real helpful to you. It's hard at first to think of a material to create it out of because we started out with cardboard and paper, and then we finally got leather and we created our design, and it works pretty well, I think.
It doesn't allow the tip to be pushed anymore because, you know, there's like aggressive kids who just take it and just smear all over the board. Well, this basically prevents it, and I'm just calling it a no push marker.
After actually being able to imagine something and like actually put it on the computer and see it and then be able to hold it in your hand because you 3D printed it, it really sparks a lot in your brain and you start to really think about what you can do. Before InventionLand, I never really imagined actually being able to like make something to solve an issue. But after InventionLand, when you get like you throw like all these different scenarios at us and we have to create something to solve that problem. It kind of helps show you that it's possible, you know. I'm working on surf skate trucks. When you're surfing, you can't really push off the ground like a skateboard, so they actually carve in the water. And the skateboard trucks I'm making give enough play into the truck so you can actually carve on the cement, so you don't have to like push off anymore.
Be open-minded, learn, just like understand you're probably going to be learning quite a bit in a semi-short amount of time. Just get ready to learn a lot, I guess.
There are a lot of steps to taking this, and that it's okay to make mistakes because I always want to rush into things and just get it right correctly. So this kind of taught me just to relax and that prototypes are okay. And honestly, for some kids that are shy, it will help them speak because he makes you speak to the class, and you have to do that when you're presenting.
Fun things you can do in French class is learn how to sing Christmas carols in French. Like so. Mon bonhomme de neige, il est très content et gros, avec 2 yeux, un nez, une bouche, et sur la tête un beau chapeau.
We don't only sing Christmas carols in French. Some other fun things we do is make video projects from being a restaurant owner to going to the airport. Last year in French 2, we even got to design a trip to a different country.
Class to take because it puts you in a family-like setting. After you take the class for several years, you really get to know your classmates and the teacher, Miss Fritchman, really well, and it's nice.
And it's not necessarily a difficult class, but it will challenge you. But if you're ready and willing to learn, you'll have a lot of fun with it.
Miss Fritchman has really enriched my learning experience these past 3 years. I'm never afraid to ask any question to further my understanding about the French culture and the language. It's really been a great experience.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Green, and the students call me Senora Verde. I teach Spanish 1 and 2 and some 4. Spanish is a lot of fun. We learn Spanish by playing games, we tell stories, we read books. We just have a lot of fun in Spanish, so I hope you take it.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Me llamo Senor Hayes. Hi, how's it going? My name is Mr. Hayes. I teach Spanish 2, Spanish 3, and Spanish 4, and I look forward to having you in my advanced classes.
Hi, I'm Pei Hakanen, and I'm teaching Mandarin class and Asian culture in the school.
My name is Lyric Rauscher. My Chinese name is Lo Shi, and I'm a junior. It is hard, but if you're dedicated and if you're really about it, like me and my classmates are, then you'll probably be all right. Everybody's really helpful in the classroom, and Mrs. Hockman's really helpful. And it's scary and it is a little difficult at first, but once you get going with it, you'll get better.
I just love to interact with students, honestly. I think students are fun, and high school age is perfect. You guys are mature enough, but still have those innocent in you. So it's fun, and everyone is very open-minded. That's what I like about it.
I think my favorite thing in the class is actually Lao Shi, or Mrs. Hockman herself. She's really bright and happy, and she always gives the classroom a very safe atmosphere. Like, even if you pronounce something wrong, she always tells you you're still doing a good job, and it's just a really happy atmosphere.
I would say my class is not hard, but I do have to say Mandarin is not such an easy language to learn.
She's very hands-on. Like, just yesterday we went and we cooked and we had a Chinese meal, and we always are doing things that are very involved with not only the language but the culture itself. And it's helpful because when you're learning a language, you need to also be able to know the culture that you're learning about with it.
We try to make a story, help them make connection, and we play game and activity. But I think in the end, it still rests on students' effort. I would really agree. Some people say 21st century will be Asia's century, and I really agree with it. And Mandarin is such a second largest economic now, and we do so many business with it, Asia and China. In Asia, a lot of countries are also learning Mandarin as their, beside English, another language they choose.
My freshman year, I took an Asian Cultural Studies class, and I was the only freshman, and I wish I would have waited until my senior year to take it.
We go to the Cleveland every year for the Asian Festival. We take students, and it has been growing, and I think we've been there 4 or 5 years already. We were in China 2017. We have a group of 13 students plus 3 adults, and it was a lot of fun. And I think it was eye-opening for students, and also eye-opening for me also, see how actually China is. It was a culture shock for everyone. It's a great experience.
Do you like America
I love this class. My Mandarin class is one of my favorite classes of my day.
And I also teach Asian culture. We generally focus on Japan, China, Korea, and India.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Zona, and I'm a business teacher here at the high school. There are 2 electives that I teach that I want to talk to you guys about. The first one is the Lancer Ledger newspaper, what's called newspaper in the programming book.
Being in the newspaper changed my high school experience in that I got to interact with people that I wouldn't have otherwise, and I got to help people and educate them through my writing and the newspaper.
Really good class because it teaches you things that you're probably going to take with you to like your career, like writing news and how to interview people that you might not talk to on a normal day-to-day basis. My favorite part is layout because it's really fun.
On your dashboard in the Snow Launchpad, and you're going to
I learned how to do layout and like how things have to fit together like a puzzle, and then how to make like a product at the end and meet a deadline for sure.
Okay.
The other elective I teach is Youth and Finance, and in this course you will learn practical money management skills, how to budget your money, how to plan for your retirement, how to manage credit cards effectively, why you should use insurance, how to invest your money and really grow it in a number of different investment options. So it's stuff you need to know as an adult, stuff you don't have to sit here and say, when will I ever use this? Because you're going to use those skills every day in life, especially how to be a good consumer.
The class is Social Media and Marketing with Mrs. Zona. It's a pretty cool class because Ms. Zona's cool, but a brief description is it's a class that teaches you the ins and outs of marketing on social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, you do a simulator which you pretend you're an employee for a company and you have to advertise their product and market it through fake Twitters and Facebooks and YouTubes and all things like that. And you produce a revenue and you get ranked among your class on how well you do.
It was a really good class. I learned a lot about how to use social media effectively to promote companies I like, my own businesses if I ever have one, and then myself if I choose to.
I would take it because Mrs. Zona's fun to have as a teacher and you should have her sometime in your point in high school, but also, just if you're thinking about anything with business and marketing, it'd probably be a good idea to take that class.
Really, anyone who wants to, better themselves on social media, anyone who's thinking about going into business in their future or even marketing as itself.
So Intro to Business was a good class. You learned about the stock market, entrepreneurship, and economics. Throughout the class, you get to play in the stock market game and make decisions about what you want to invest your money in. You also get to learn about a country's economic system and compare it to the United States' economic system. And then the last part of the class is entrepreneurship. And we did an online course that showed us how to kind of run a business and keep it going. I think that this class could help anyone, maybe people going into the business field, because it gives you a little bit of experience when you're playing with like the entrepreneurship game, but
every Monday and Friday we get to do like bell ringers, and she starts off the day with like something fun to do. I think she teaches stuff more like not based on your knowledge. It's like actual daily life skills. So I think
you get to like work with other people a lot, so you get to like socialize a lot, which is pretty cool. Basically, this class is about your plans for future. What are you gonna do with your life? How are you gonna make money?
Ms. Zona teaches us a lot about money and budgeting and like how to prepare for college.
Ice House is it's like an entirely new experience because we get the freedom to just go out there and express our ideas and make some money while we're, expressing our ideas, selling stuff.
We did a project selling breakfast in the morning, and I think it got to show off our entrepreneurial skills and work in teams and groups to see what we kind of like.
It kind of just opens your mind to like what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing when you start a business, hopefully, and kind of gets you to see what you don't usually see in a business.
Yeah, Ice House is, the name of the course is based off this book by Cliff Tolbear. The name of the course is based off of a guy who wrote a book called Cliff Tolbear. He was an entrepreneur who was born in the South during the Jim Crow era, and we just learned his different steps and his different stories about how to properly set up an entrepreneurial business, and then we apply it to whatever thing we want to do.
You shouldn't just take the class if you want to be an entrepreneur. Even if you have no interest in becoming an entrepreneur, it's still a good class to take because it gives you a path for business as a whole, no matter what career you expect to do in your life.
I personally learned so much in the Ice House course. I would recommend it 100%. So much fun. Mr. Thompson's a blast. The class is so fun. We do so many interesting things, watch so many interesting videos. The speakers in particular are really informative, and I just love the class.
I personally think it's funny how passionate Mr. Thompson is about it because he's kind of a quiet person, but during like little points in like each class, even if we're like reading one part in a book, he gets super excited about it, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah, any class with Mr. Thompson is worth taking.
Management, it is a very fun class. It teaches you a lot of business skills that most people should have.
It teaches you a lot about like normal retail stuff such as purchasing, stocking shelves, making sure you have the required items you need to like actually run the store.
Be expected to do as much as you can and to be the best that you can. It's not an easy class, but it is a very fun class to do.
Hi, I'm Mr. Korb, and I've worked with the SAT prep class for the last few years, and you can see students spend much of their time working out of the SAT prep book. It's an opportunity for you to improve your SAT score and to learn the skills necessary to do your best on the test. We also use the Khan Academy, which is an online program which you can use independently, or you can do in the class to use the Khan Academy. I hope this has helped you make your decision in picking your elective. Thank you.
So my course is called Current Affairs, and there are so many different aspects that you can go into with current affairs, so my course is never the same. And I've heard kids have taken this course multiple times, but since current affairs is always happening, then you can go in depth with politics, you can go in depth with endangered species, just wherever the course comes about and what my students want to get into, I allow them to get into that. So that will be based off of projects, drawings, maybe even songs. I'm a big creative guy, and that's what I like to see out of my students as well.
So next year, I will be teaching a class called Heroes versus Villains, Social Justice. And a lot of you guys have asked me what this class is going to be about. And what it's going to be about is really what you can see in your school, your newspaper, your news, every single day. And it's intolerance, because at the seed of every single conflict, there's usually the word intolerance. And if you don't know what that is, I'll explain. It's the inability of one group to really understand the beliefs or design of another group. So when you see that intolerance plays a factor in every single conflict, you're going to understand that we are going to break down a lot of conflicts. So the whole reason of it calling heroes versus villains is how did these heroes trump these villains, in a sense? You have people like Adolf Hitler who caused the Holocaust, but you had people like FDR or Eleanor Roosevelt who were able to kind of get us out of the Great Depression, for lack of better words. Now, with this all coming in, there's going to be a lot in this class. It's not just, the Holocaust. You're going to look at Darfur. You're going to look at Kuwait, not just what happened in America or what happened because of America. You're going to look at African countries all across the world. This is going to be the class where you're going to figure out, one, what it's like to be a good person, and two, where these conflicts have stemmed from. So heroes versus villains, social justice, look out for it next year.
Well, first of all, the majority of the class we use Connects to build a lot of different kinds of projects. So it's a lot of hands-on building. Mr. Triola up in the middle school, I visited up there and saw some of the things he did, and that certainly got an interest for myself. I also went to a continuing education class, a STEM class at Penn State Behrend, and learned a few more ideas that I then brought some of these ideas to Mr. Meno and presented the opportunity to start this Math Connections class. I really enjoy teaching the class. It's certainly a relaxed atmosphere. The students are up, moving around most every period, and I just like that kind of atmosphere. It's fun. It's a fun class for the students. It's a fun class to teach as well. I think that this class gives a look at engineering and hands-on building in a fun way. And I think if kids like designing things and working with Connects and kind of playing in that way, it's a fun elective class that they should sign up for. At the end of the course, throughout the course we do a lot of team building, and each team builds the same thing. At the end of the course, we have a couple big projects. This is actually one of them we're working on right now, that we come together as a class and build an entire amusement park. So each individual, each team can build their own rides, design their own rides, and then we set up an entire amusement park as a class, and we go down to the grand lobby and set it all up. And it comes together and it looks pretty neat.
Mr. Del Santo is actually a really good teacher. He's kind of laid back, and it's kind of nice to have one of those teachers. He's very interactive with all of us, and it's one of those things where we can have those days where we're not really working on things, and it's kind of hard, but he knows and can understand us very well.
Math Connections is a fun class. You get to really learn how to engineer and work together as teams and communicate with other people. And it's for freshmen through seniors, so you get to know all kids from different grades. My favorite part is probably working with different people on different things. So we've worked on bridges and towers, and then we've incorporated those things together, and just working with different people is always fun. I recommend it because it's a quarter class, so it's not very long, and you're still learning new things with everything you do, from bridges and towers, and it's very interesting.
Welcome to Anatomy.
This is Anatomy.
This is Joe. He teaches the class,
yeah.
not Mrs. Yanko.
It's a pretty cool class. Mrs. Yanko does teach the class.
Occasionally.
Joe just kind of sits
when
there.
Joe's busy.
Yeah. You learn about the body and stuff clearly.
These are bones.
Right here, this is the arm of the leg.
This is your elbow.
And
this is your foot.
yeah. So
that's about all I know.
You should probably take this class so you can be more knowledgeable about your arms and your legs and stuff.
And your elbows.
So
pretty much it.
My name is Mr. Trush, and here are some of the courses that I teach. Physics 2 Accelerated, Physics 1, Intro to Physics, Astrophysics, and Nuclear Physics. Surprisingly, physics means nature, and so we put mathematical equations to describe things in nature. In nuclear physics, we talk about nuclear power plants and such. In astrophysics, we talk about, of course, the stars and the galaxies and black holes. Also in physics, we have some fun. So here I have a volunteer. She's going to come over and stand on these buckets. This is a Van de Graaff generator. 200,000 volts of static electricity. Do you have any heart problems?
No.
We'll find out. So what you're going to do is you're going to touch this with your fingertips and don't let go. Don't bend your knees. Okay? You ready? What's the rule?
Don't bend my knees.
And
don't let go.
And don't let go. Our hair is being filled with electrons. Shake your head. Shake really well. Put your head down and shake it. There you go. Look at the camera. And look at yourself in the mirror. So, physics is fun. Now, you don't want to get shocked, so don't let go. Now, I'm going to take some of those electrons out of her hair. Watch. There we go. Watch her hair. Her hair's coming down. The electrons are leaving, going into the marker rail. Now I'm going to take a whole lot all at once. Into me, into the ground. There you go. Thanks. And you survived. Very good. So those kinds of things we do in physics. Also, here's something else that could be challenging. Did you ever try to balance a pin on the head of a pin? Pretty incredible stuff. Sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't. And this is one of those times. Amazing. So, come and take physics and have some fun. Well, there's going to be 2 courses, both 9 weeks, offered to juniors and seniors. It's Drone 1 and Drone 2. In this course, you're going to learn a variety of things about drones, from how to keep their batteries well, safety. And in the course, we'll get to, of course, fly drones. This is a lightweight drone, probably going to fly it mostly indoors. But if we get some nice weather days, we can take it outside. So you get to learn how to fly a drone. We'll do that maybe a few times a week, as long as the batteries hold out. There's all kinds of things you can do with drones, from agriculture. I actually looked into the possibility of crop adjusters will need to look at their fields, and they usually walk the fields. You could take a drone out and fly over the fields, get video of the fields, so that the crop adjuster can just look at that and say, oh, save them a lot of time going out there. They use them to look at, inspect places that are inaccessible, like a smokestack on a refinery. You can go up and down a smokestack with one of these, where it's much tougher to get there, put a human there. They're used for search and rescue. There's all kinds of applications for drones. Because in this course, like I said, we'll talk about maybe electricity with batteries. There'll be maybe some design build components where we'll get a bunch of like popsicle sticks and things and have to build something that relates to some science principle about drones. There'll be topics of aerodynamics, where you can learn how, when you fly the drone, how it acts through the air.
AP Calculus 2 BC classes each year study a unit of applications of all the mathematics they've been working on. One of the applications is designing and building a 3-dimensional figure, both physically and then theoretically.
It's taking a problem using abstract ideas and making it into some concrete thing.
You have to decide what materials you want to use and when you're going to do it.
A lot of the stuff we do has real life meanings, where a derivative is like the rate of change of something. So let's say like a flow rate, or emptying something out. So the amount of work it might take to empty a swimming pool, where that is always changing, because the water is like coming from different heights, because there's always different amounts in it. So like that is a real life application of how much stuff you're going to actually need to do.
They choose a material of choice to design and build their 3-dimensional object. They then have to slice it into pieces to compute the volume physically by hand. Then they design the calculus equations that will actually compute the volume for them.
It's a good thing to do, and there's a lot of real life application, and it's a good class to take because it helps you think better about certain problems.
It's a great project of problem solving, applications of math, and using the formulas that they've been studying.
It involves a lot of hands-on critical thinking, so if you enjoy actually doing stuff and not just listening to a lecture, enjoy thinking things through and problem solving, and there's a little bit of like mathematics involved. I think it'll be a plus in my further life if I ever need to figure something out that's wrong with something. It's a lot like it. It uses mainly English, but you have to know certain commands. We use camel case, so you have to know when to capitalize a letter and when not to. Different, like if you put like a squiggle above a certain letter, it means something different than if you don't. That I would definitely recommend it. It was a lot of fun, and it could help in many different career choices, anything that involves electronics or technology. And so the Coding 1 class is kind of like building a base for Coding 2, and then you learn more interesting things in Coding 2.
Environmental science is an AP class, but it's not that hard, and it's a science class where we learn about the earth and how to like prevent it from pollution and how to prevent that and all this kind of stuff, and we learn all about the environment and what's going on with it and how we can change things. And it's a really nice class because it's hands-on. So like we learned about the soil and the different layers of the soil, and Mr. Moore had little like cores, and we went out and we took samples so we could look at it, and we did different tests, and like we went to Camp Fitch and tested their water. So it's a very hands-on class, which is nice. So you're not just learning the stuff through the textbook, you're experiencing it and can apply the knowledge.
The environmental science class is like, you pretty much get to see what people, if you're going to major in environmental science, you get to see what people in that field will be doing. You get to do actual like field work, like you get to go outside and test water and test soil, and it's really cool. And you just get to learn about the environment pretty much.
Basically any science field, because it's an interdisciplinary field, so it takes in a lot from the different science classes like biology and geology.
Like Eve said, it's interdisciplinary, so you can go ahead and it has all the different sciences in it, so it teaches you everything. So even if you're just like, I might want to go into a science career, it has everything in it, so you can go on there and be like, oh, I really like learning about whatever it is you really like learning about, and then you can pursue that career more, and it gives you a general overview of all the different sciences.
Hi, my name is Mr. Yates, and I'm the Director of Vocal Music and Theater here at General McLean High School. And I teach a variety of classes. Probably the one that's most popular is Broadway Dinner. There's a 9th and 10th grade Broadway Dinner class, and there's an 11th and 12th grade Broadway Dinner class. You being 8th graders coming in, you would take the 9th and 10th grade class. And in order to be in Broadway Dinner, you must also take another choir, and we offer a variety of other choirs here at the school. One of the choirs that would probably interest most of you would be either the Holiday Choir, which is a choir that sings holiday music and performs a holiday concert. And then there's also the Spring Concert Choir, which follows Broadway Dinner. And if you're super serious about music, especially singing, that might be the choir for you as well. Then we also offer for singing ensembles, there's a women's ensemble. It's a smaller group, and we get more into vocal technique and working on the voice, working on part singing, and we sing everything from madrigals to a cappella jazz. Then there's also the GM Vocal Jazz, which is a select group. Not often do we have freshmen in that class, however, depending on your ability level and recommendations from Miss Amatuzo, there's a chance that we could even get you in that class. Aside from choir classes, I also teach electronic music, and we do a lot of things with the iPad, working with GarageBand, and we also learn about how to run sound systems and working with basically music electronically. And then I also finally offer a music theory class. There's different levels of that, and if you want to learn the inner workings of music and how composers use notes, chords, rhythms to create music, that would be a class for you. So there's a variety of offerings. And
hi, my name's Mr. Graham. I teach fitness and weight training as an elective class. Coach Wells also teaches fitness 1 and 2, and I think it's a great class. If you're a beginner lifter, if you've ever wanted to even get started in taking care of your body, I think fitness and weight training is the best way to do it because it gives you basic knowledge of lifting, how to design a program. It takes a look at nutrition, all the different concepts that are out there about weight training. We have a beautiful weight room now. This is not recommended for students in sport, though. If you're looking to be in all 3 sports, you probably don't want this class because sometimes your coaches want you to not train or this and that. This is for people that really want to train, get themselves in shape, maybe not affiliated with sports.
My name is Mr. Smirker. I teach team sports at General McLean High School. That is an elective, very popular elective for 9th graders and 10th graders. It is a class on how to develop almost coaching techniques and strategies. It is a 9-week class. It involves 5 project papers, being team handball, volleyball, basketball, football, and I think softball. During these classes, you'll learn all the key team points. You'll be responsible to conference with teammates on your key team points, develop a strategy paper, and conference with the teacher explaining the knowledge that you have of all the key team points in team sports.
Miss Hanley. I do extreme fitness, which is mainly a 12th grade elective for health and phys ed. I do have a couple juniors in there every now and then, but it's mainly for seniors. And it is called extreme fitness for a reason. It just gives you a kind of an upper level that you don't necessarily get with a normal phys ed class. And we do a lot of cardio, we do abs, we do arms and uppers, we do lowers. We kind of just mix it all in a nice little combo. And I do try and do at least 1 restoration day a week, which is either yoga or intense stretching. Just kind of gives you a break for the week, just kind of breaks it up a little bit. We do fitness programs like Insanity, P90X, 21 Day Fix, a lot of that fun stuff. We do also do nutrition logging, which we use MyFitnessPal app, so it's really easy. You guys can just get it right onto their iPads.